on St. Charles Place, is president of the VHCA, and he's overseeing it and project managing it, so he's there on a regular basis, and that's something for you to sign so we can do the bricks install. But it's proceeding along. There are some rain delays. It was originally going to take 8 weeks, so it'll continue probably through November is what I'm guessing sometime. That's it, unless there's any questions.
You know, we've given a couple of final reports, but it keeps growing, so I like to keep giving them as long as the bottom line keeps getting bigger.
Yeah, thank you. Well, that's the last one, I promise.
We can keep doing them. Go ahead, yes, please.
Pam, I'm very curious about this. Has Rob Glancy ever turned in the proceeds from the race, from the, the project that he?
No, he is not.
Well, what I'm questioning is how can we as a group get him to do this? I mean, I'll be happy to call him because I've worked with Rob in the past on different projects when I was on board and he was on board simultaneously. And I'm just questioning what is the holdup and why do we not have the authority or the clout to approach him and say, Rob, could we please finalize this sale, this project?
There have been some emails, and I've discussed the matter with Jack, and he is prepared to, I think, propose the next steps.
Well, I think if you want to write in, that's always appropriate as a citizen, that's fine. We actually, I'm not sure what the delay is. I don't understand the delay, I don't think any of us do, so we'd love to see that resolved, so if you want to do that, that's entirely within anyone's prerogative to do that.
Why it hadn't been finalized.
Indeed. All right, well, Pam, I know you needed to run, and I appreciate your comment to that. So we're going to move on to planning. Ms. Carlisle.
So we have a variance application. It's V12-163. Address is 1041 Green Cove Avenue. The applicant is Mark Arnold on behalf of owners Carrie Furman and Jeffrey Glover, who are also here. So if you guys would like to go ahead and describe the project and what the application is specifically to start off with, that would be great.
Sure. And if the board wants copies of things, I'll have that for everyone.
Should we have one or two out in the audience somewhere?
If you want to circulate in the audience, you can.
You guys need one?
Okay, so I'm Mark Arnold. I'm the applicant and the architect for this project, and Jeffrey Glover and Carrie Furman are in the back. They currently live on Virginia Circle and have 2 young kids and have outgrown their current digs and want to move around the corner to Green Cove and expand up. It's an existing story-and-a-half house, and they want to go straight up. A portion of the house, the north side yard of the house, this is the flat, and this north part of the house is 3.7 feet and 3.6 feet into the setback. So in order to expand up, we're adding heated area, and technically we're increasing the degree of nonconformity, and that's the reason for the variance. So we're not going closer to the setback line, but we're adding heated area, and therefore we've requested from the city a variance to reduce the side yard setback from the required 7 feet to 3.5 feet. We are expanding the house towards the street, but we're within the front yard setback of 35 feet. We're at 37.9 at the front, and then we're expanding in the back, but we're not expanding. We're only expanding within the allowable buildable area. We don't need a setback for that. The setback variance is only for the heated area of the second floor that's within the existing footprint. Jeffrey and Carrie have met with neighbors, or have attempted to meet with neighbors. This is from the GIS, city's GIS site. Their house is here. They have a signed letter from Ben, who's across the street at the corner of Pamont and Green Cove, and they've attempted to meet with the folks on the other side, and there's two houses that front on Elizabeth Court. And I don't, as of yet, you haven't gotten any of those letters, is that right?
That is correct.
Okay.
We'll be sending out the certificate of mailing, is that what it is?
Proof of mail.
Proof of mailing, sorry.
We're gonna be doing
Tomorrow.
that tomorrow.
We would have done it today, but at least I assume I didn't.
But they have, but correct me if I'm wrong, they have actually dropped off copies
Yes.
of the plans to each of their
Yes.
neighbors.
Yep.
But we'll have proof of that tomorrow. Any questions?
Or what's the planning report observe?
We were there, everything is consistent with what Mark has stated, and there's no tree issue, no tree impact. So after the site visit and then our planning committee, we approved this unanimously from the planning committee.
Is there questions in the audience or the board? Please.
There's a condition on the site plan?
Yeah, it'll be conditioned on the site plan, which is dated 9/19/12.
The motion then is to approve as presented, conditioned upon site plan 9/19/12, proof of mailing and/or notification of adjacent neighbors. And I think there was some mention, as I recall, of trying to fold some additional stormwater control measures in there. That was a voluntary measure, but that's acceptable? All right. Absent discussion, we have a motion and a second. We will ask folks to vote. All in favor on the board, please raise your hand. And it is unanimous. Thank you. Thanks for coming. We'll see you all at the NPU next Monday at this time. And it won't be over quite this quick.
Yes. But we will be back to our difficulties.
Yes, thank you.
That's all right.
We're on to our remaining fundraising item, which is quite nigh upon us. In fact, it doesn't feel that way, but it's rather nigh. That's not the only thing that's nigh upon us, with respect to our chairperson, but Ms. Taylor.
Okay, hi, I'm Angelica Taylor. I'm running the tour of homes as the chair, and my baby's coming in 7 weeks. So I won't actually get to go to the tour that I've been working hard on, but I've got an amazing team, so we're excited. We're also way up to date. I mean, we are looking pretty on our timeline. We have our 6 finalized homes and a bed and breakfast. So this year we decided to throw in a commercial property. Well, it's really not zoned, it's not a commercial, but a bed and breakfast, a business. So we thought that would be like something fun. You know, Inman Park does it, and their tour of homes. So we were so excited that Adele over at the Virginia-Highlands bed and breakfast said yes. So she's doing something nice for us and moving all of her rentals to the bottom floor, and we get to show the top floor, which is the prettiest anyway. As far as where we stand, y'all are gonna love this. Sponsorships so far, I mean, to date right now, we have $10,000 in sponsorships. I mean, that's pretty spectacular sitting on, October 8th. So we're looking for more. Our plan is to meet and exceed last year, of course. So last year we had like 15,000. And so this year we totally want to hit 15 plus. So I think we're on pace to do that. Well received. Everyone likes our whole new committee, which is new. I mean, there's nobody returning except for Eleanor. So we had to start from scratch, and we also have had good relationships with last committee's batch, and they've been so sweet to help us out through some kinks. We have our first publications and news media drops that started last week. Our second biggie is October 15th, which will be a bigger introduction. And I forget what publication that's in Town magazine maybe?
Be Atlanta in Town, yeah.
Okay. We're hitting with them several times. They've been really good to us. Plus, we have Atlanta Lifestyles and Homes that are actually looking at us to do a little bit more of an in-depth teaser with one of our houses on tour, so that's pretty huge, because they're a real magazine. And several more places that we haven't done it before, like, I don't know if you've heard of the magazine Points North, but it attracts Roswell, Upper Marietta, all the way into Alpharetta, and they said that they would do an article on us. So I thought that was great. So we're looking good. We're meeting all of our timelines, and the only request we have is that if you want to be a volunteer, shift work volunteer, we've already gotten, Eleanor's in charge of our volunteer section or committee, and she's gotten all the house captains already committed, but we will have shift work that needs to be done, or maybe the community type work that needs to be done for the tour of home. Maybe hanging banisters, maybe, or banners, maybe doing yard signs, a little bit of schlepping, also doing some shift work in the houses. So please, can I just say contact you then, Eleanor?
Absolutely.
And we'll have it on the website too, to volunteer.
We have a Baha'i Tour of Homes at Gmail
Okay.
email that people will have we'll open up the volunteer spot, sign up, but for now, if anybody wants to contact Baha'i Tour of Homes at Gmail.
Okay, oh, and we have all of our restaurants situated, a lot of them are booked 2 days, and we also have Grady Choir and Inman Choir doing live music, carols, caroling. It's going to be all really awesome, so it's shaping up nicely. Thank you. Oh, are any questions? Okay.
Especially if you're going to be in this far northern suburban magazine, please don't forget
Yeah,
the,
you said that. I know. He wants
because
all,
they'll come in and they'll leave their laptops and their digital cameras on
make
the
sure
front
that the
seat.
cars are cleaned out when they
Yeah.
park. Okay. Anybody else?
Angelica, thanks
Okay.
very much. Doing all that with, I mean, if you could pick a great person to have back, you would, Eleanor is the volunteers are a keystone piece of this puzzle, so really grateful to have you back. But doing it with significantly new members is really, even with the help you've gotten from Eleanor and everyone else, is really great, and I congratulate you all. And we'll just keep our fingers crossed, and for you more than the tour. Sounds like the tour is fine, and I know you are too. But thanks very much.
Okay.
That's fantastic. We're on to safety, which tonight is sidewalks. Ms. Bird.
Yes, so John's sitting out there and I'm up here, so I apologize for anything in advance that goes wrong with safety. I'm learning. And David Wilson is also learning, and John is helping every step of the way, so thank you. But tonight I want to talk about things I'm more used to talking about. If you haven't noticed, the city actually repainted crosswalks for us at our request in the Atkins Park section of the neighborhood, so I'm glad they did. I appreciate it.
Signage too, the nice new signage, right? And the big crosswalk signs that
They've really cleaned it up.
looks
So,
nice.
so I just, a little recognition city-wise. A little update on our pavers. We had salvaged 280 pavers from the last city installation of sidewalks in the neighborhood, and had somebody call the other day and ask to buy some pavers. They were referred by PED, so I'm here to deliver a check for some pavers, which is going to be the beginning of a fund to pay for sidewalks for people that are otherwise perhaps unable to cover their half of the sidewalks when we have a problem with that. So we'll have a little place to start accumulating some money as we sell pavers, and that's what we'd like to use it for. On sidewalks, the St. Charles bundle should be installed within approximately a month, and we're thinking about the next bundles. And I'd like to come to you with a motion to authorize us to look at doing either one or two of 3 bundles. So I want to let you know what the 3 bundles are, and then I want to see which one becomes most practical to move forward with first, and then we'll do the next one, and then we'll do the next one. The northwest quadrant of the neighborhood, basically Monroe to North Island and Virginia to Amsterdam, has sidewalks that are not in terrible shape. They're, 50 or so years newer than some of the paver type sidewalks, and they're mostly not pavers. But there are some sections that are just from age and wear and tear, have been chipped or cracked or are a little hard to, or been thrown up by tree roots, so there's some of them are a little bit hard to navigate. So rather than doing just a street, we're thinking about doing that whole quadrant as one bundle, and rather than doing whole segments, like whole properties of sidewalk, just doing the busted up segments. So we're thinking about approaching that in most cases as more of a repair than a whole new sidewalk. So I'm talking to the city about how to make that practical, because, you know, hauling a contractor out to bust up one 8x8 foot section of sidewalk and re-pour it, there's no way. So we have to be able to put together enough of those little segments, like 50 or 60 of them, to make it worthwhile for a contractor to come do that nitty-gritty kind of stuff. So I'm working with the city, and I'm hoping that turns out to be a practical project. That's one. Drury is another, and Highland View is another. And both Drury and Highland View are in fairly poor condition and kind of replacement intensive. So those are my three bundles, and that's my motion.